welcome back to another episode of Acquire the Fire, a podcast brought to you by My House Matsu. Today, I am very honored to have a guest, a very special guest that I get to work alongside with here at the My House Residential. Today, we have
Cameron Parry.
Oh yeah, Cameron, what do you do for My House?
I am a peer support specialist.
All right, that's super awesome, man. I do have the honor to work alongside you, and
Likewise.
I love it. The reason we have these glasses on today is just to show that recovery is fun. Recovery isn't supposed to be all the time hard work, all this grinding, right? We can have fun. We get to discover new joy. We get to kind of create this second version of ourselves that we're proud of. So we're just going to go ahead.
Plus, I'm nervous.
Yes, that's okay. The nerves are normal. This is a good thing, and I'm just super glad to have you. And we're just going to start from the beginning. I just want to know a little bit about your backstory. What was your life like before coming into treatment, or deciding you needed treatment or needed to reach out for help?
So, I grew up here. I struggled with alcoholism at a pretty young age. I drank for 10 years, and I moved back to Alaska and kind of got back involved with my parents, and we all just decided I need to go to rehab. And it was the best decision I ever made, one of them. And yeah, I went to rehab, and it went great. And 2 years later, I decided to go to school because I wanted to help other people. And then through school, I started my practicum here, and it just ended up as a job.
Nice and sweet. I like it.
Yeah.
One thing a little backstory. I want to know about the treatment that you went to. Was there ever a time when you were in there that I was like, you know what, this employee or this person that helped me in treatment, I think I want to do that? Like, was there like a moment that you're like, ooh, I want to work in the recovery field?
Yeah. So I had a really cool counselor. The rehab that I went to had like 4 like group sessions a day, and she did like 2 of them, and then did individualized counseling. And she was a super rad lady. I don't even remember her name. But it was enough impact where I was like 2 years after I got sober, because I was still finding myself for like 2 years after I got sober. But that 2 year mark hit, and I was like, I want to kind of be like that, what that girl did for me, for other people. And that's when I decided to go back to school.
Very nice.
So she did have quite a big impact on me in my life.
So so you're currently going to UAA. What are you going to UAA for?
I'm going for human services. I am currently working on my bachelor's.
Oh, that's super awesome. So you're in recovery, you work in the recovery field. How do you find time to also work on school, and also you just started a family, so there's a lot going on when you're off the clock and you're maintaining your sobriety. How do you manage to control all those pieces, all those moving pieces in your life?
When you put it like that, it sounds like a lot, and I just do it. There's times where it does feel like a lot, but kind of how my past was, it just seems so much better. And like, I feel like I'm not like constantly in a blessed position. You know, I have a great girlfriend, I have a kid with her, and you know, all the things. So it helps with the recovery and the stress of the job or anything along the lines of that. I just feel blessed usually. And bad days now are like nothing compared to how the bad days used to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. Like, when I think about it, I think that's kind of like the underlying joke of this episode, is why we have the speed glasses, is because we really do live in this fast-paced lifestyle. Like, even like in recovery and outside of recovery, like all we knew was like go, whether it was going into darker places or going into like working in the field. What we do is we really are down down and dirty with the clients. Like we get to help them feel their emotions. We get to help them go through like probably one of the hardest parts of their recovery is that initial inpatient treatment. Like they are 24/7 working on improving themselves.
Yeah, it's
and it
huge.
really is awesome to be working with them.
Mhm.
How do you not take your work home? Because like I said, like we are seeing them in a very vulnerable place. They can and they do kind of pull on our energy. Like we have this, like for me specifically, I have this time where I kind of just sit in my truck. I'm like, whoa, my social battery is just completely gone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me personally, I like to just kind of sit in my truck when I get home, and for me personally, it's prayer and meditation before I go into home, because it really is going into my second life. Because I'm also a student.
Mhm.
I have a wedding coming up, and so it's just a lot of moving pieces as well. What do you do to kind of not let your energy or your social battery go down?
Yeah. I kind of just remind myself of like what we're like, kind of like what you said, like what we're doing. They are doing something that's incredibly hard. They are in there like trying to change their lives. And so like I know that the work I'm doing is super important and it's needed, and that's a big helpful factor. And then, I think of like trauma informed care. Like I just throughout the day, like I know I've also lived like 9 lives. Like as like
Like a
they could
cat.
say something mean to me and I'm just like, I know. It's just yeah. And I just keep going. I listen to some music on the way home and then help my girlfriend with the baby. Work on some school if I need to, and just watch some TV and call it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So when we go through treatment, we find it, as myself and you, like we've gone through what our clients now are going through. And we had one client recently tell me that he's experienced joy that he didn't know existed within the recovery field. We took him to Float for Hope, and he just had such I think the amount of community that was at that event, and also uh, like you had a bunch of recovering alcoholics, a bunch of recovering addicts, not a drinking site, not a drugging site, and everyone was just super happy. I'm curious about like what do you do in your spare time that keeps that joy, like that recovery's fun, right? It's not this
hmm
got to be the solemn thing where it's like, oh great, I get to keep working on myself. How do you find the joy in recovery?
Well, I think a big part of that is when you get sober, you're like, who am I without all this? And if you're doing it right, you're trying to find the things that make you happy. Like it's a never ending thing. Like for me, I really enjoy like continuing to learn. So that's a big part of why I went back to school. I played soccer as a kid and I fell out of it all the years that I was, drinking and doing my thing. I got back to soccer. I started running marathons. I just did all of these things that I'd never thought, back in the day, I couldn't pass a math class to save my life. And, we talk about college math. So like all these things compared to like, I just think about what's going on now and then like look back at the past and I'm just like, it's easy to keep going if in those terms.
That was a huge part of my story, was like skateboarding, and I loved doing it, but obviously my skateboarding career took me to places that that kind of fueled my addiction, right? Because you have partying, like you have a good day skateboarding, you're like, awesome, like let's go party now. And once I got out of recovery, once I got out of treatment, it was hard for me to balance it out. I'm like, oh great, I'm never gonna be able to skateboard again. And I feel like my recovery in the moment robbed me of my hobbies or my things that brought me joy. But when I got out of treatment, I ended up starting like a skate club for youth.
Mhm.
And I
That's
got
super
to
cool.
I got to use these skills, and it's like shows that recovery isn't going to rob you of what you enjoyed in the past before or during addiction or alcohol, but you get to feel it and like transform it into this thing that you can be like beneficial to your own personal recovery or beneficial to someone else's recovery or story. And we get to do these, we have these skills, we learn every day. Like, in treatment, like I like to pretend that I'm also in treatment. Like we have a clinician, Gina, I like to sit through her groups and pretend like, because it's just as impactful to sit there and listen and be in the dirt with them. And like,
and you can always learn. You can always learn, no matter like if we take clients to AA, listen to those stories, you can always learn.
Absolutely. And let me think I really like your one admirable thing that like when I get to like watch you work is like you just have this patience on you, and it's just so admirable because I sometimes find myself having to step away from groups or step away from my work for a second, just like find myself. How do you? I guess it's kind of the same question, but like how do you remain that composure? Like how do you find that flow state and just
that's
doing the right thing without it get to you?
Kind of the same thing, but diff. You know what I mean? It goes back to the trauma-informed care and knowing how hard it is what they're doing. Like to continuously push each day, even when days get hard. Because like we've talked about recently, like there's going to be some bad days, there's going to be some hard days, but they keep going, and they're getting the longest they've ever gotten sober each day. And that's super cool, like to even think about. If you ask me how patient I was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I probably not this much. It's I think more so a new thing, and it comes down to I'm just at peace with. I'm about to hit 5 years sober in August, and each 2 or 3 months, I'm like, getting better or growing more and just, constantly finding myself. And I just feel like, just at peace in a way. And I think it all goes back to like, and you're doing an amazing job, by the way. Yeah. We're doing, it's an awesome job, and it's a super important job. And, if we think about that, then, everything's sweet.
Another thing, I find it super hard, that beginning stage of like going through detox, all that stuff. If there was somebody that is watching this episode who wants to seek help, what would be your advice? What are some steps that they can do? And if you have some good resources for them.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing is just like I know it's hard and challenging, and I was in it, and it feels like you can't get out, and it's hard, but life after is just so much more. It's so much better, so much better. But it's amazing, and it's really hard. There's multiple avenues for help. There's like communities online. There's places in like if it's here in the Valley, like come to my house. You know what I mean? There's lots of people that and I think things are getting better in that regard, but the end result is just so much better.
Yeah, and that's a big thing is the life that you get after taking that first step is second to none. Like it is like I wouldn't exchange the life I have now for the life I had before. Like there are days where it's like, man, sometimes like it's just that mind, like that addict mind, and sometimes it likes to that self-doubt creeps in, like how am I even making a difference? How is like it creeps in. But then I'm reminded every day, like when I get to work alongside people that have been through what I've been through, when I get to help people that are going through what I've been through, it reminds me like, oh man, like I am making a difference. I am making an impact.
The coolest thing is like, little things to you might not seem like anything crazy, but months down the line, you hear like, hey, at that time, and I really needed to hear that. And this, all these, just like that counselor, because I went to rehab in Washington, but that counselor in Seattle probably has, well, maybe she remembers me, but she probably doesn't. She said I was pretty cool there, but she, you never know. But I think about her. You're making impact in like the smallest or most meaningfulest ways, and it's super cool.
That's the way we were talking about it with Eric on the podcast. Is it's kind of like this
Callback.
You get to plant these seeds, right, in our clients' lives, and like you might not even ever see like the harvest. Like you'll never get to see the fruit that you bear, and with that, it just comes like faith. Like no, like I did my part. I know about me doing my part is I made a difference.
Yeah, and I think it's cool if you don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like as long as you're just being your true, authentic self and
Absolutely.
just rocking it and making it look cool, and yeah,
I think we do look really cool right now. Well, I think honestly, unless you have a burning desire on your heart, I think
no. This was fun.
this was fun.
I'm pretty nervous.
That's totally okay.
But you're a great podcaster
And you were a great
and
host.
coworker.
Yes. And so, with that being said, we are gonna move on. If you have any questions for me or the My House staff, please reach out to inquirethefire at myhousematsu.org. That link will be in the description below. Make sure to send in your questions so we can answer them on next week's podcast. And again, thank you for watching.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.